danger. Won't surrender. Faith is like a fire that never burns to embers. The voice of the unheard. Love is the answer.
I gotta speak it, believe it, that's how I feel inside.
I can't sit here quiet.
You can take my heart, you can take my breath when you pry it from my cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder, magic static. Call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance. You can't resist us. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Sleeping and the shadows could be making history. Through the fire, on the water, used to be a slave, but now you are a conqueror.
They can take my heart, they can take my breath when they pry it from my cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder, magic static. Call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance. You can't resist us. Up, 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 up. We're rising up, 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 up. Rising up, 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 up. We're rising up, 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 up. Rising up, 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 up. We're rising up, 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 up. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance. You can't resist us. This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder, magic static. Call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance. You can't resist us.
And welcome to another episode of Straight Talk with Joe Vollano. As always, I am, because I guess I'll never change, be Joseph Vollano. I am your host and your guiding light through all this nonsense that's going out in the world today. And we'll just try to do our part to make a little sense of it all. Sometimes it's a little more difficult than others, but it doesn't mean we don't at least give it a try. I apologize if I don't see most of your comments tonight. I had some technical difficulties with one of my computers. It kind of it's gone. So we are on our backup system here tonight, but it seems like everything is going as planned. So let's hope for the best. As always, if you want to be part of the show, always feel free to call on in 203-679-9610. Or if you want to email us, straighttalkjv@gmail.com. We're going to have a great show tonight. We are going to talk about, we're going to give you updates on the survey and stuff, and some of the information we've requested that we did not get yet. We're going to talk about the status of the fire survey. We're going to talk about Dr. Fauci and his emails. We are going to talk about something special for some of you out there who have been asking for it. I found some very interesting things out there on a certain subject that some people enjoy here. So we'll talk about that. And then at the end, we have a very special update. Well, actually not update, announcement for someone who is going to be joining us in the next couple days. So it is big. I will leave it at that for now. I have a ton of questions for this person, and I expect that we're going to have a very good dialogue, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it out there as well. So again, if you want to call in, 203-679-9610, or you could email us at straighttalkjv@gmail.com. Or as always, you guys could be on Facebook and YouTube. You could always just dive into the chats. I will be watching as much as I can. But like I said, I am on one screen here today. So we will be I will be back and forth trying to check out your chats. But so let's dive right on into it. Obviously, I showed you guys a video last week of our fire chief reading his hostage ransom note to the people on YouTube. And apparently somewhere out in the ether, somewhere, there is a 5-question survey out there. I can't find it anywhere. The latest, I just checked just before we came on the show today. This is all the announcements that are in for the city of Meriden. Obviously, the paving alert, which we're going to get into in a second. The back-to-school physicals, new land use applications, and then the community voice survey for public safety. So, but if you look through any of those in any other ones, you will not find a fire department survey anywhere. So if anybody out there has this survey or has seen this survey, please post it to the chat and let me know ASAP so we could actually sit there and read it together. Because, yeah, to me, it doesn't exist. All the comments are still off on their YouTube page, and there is no survey attached to it like he said in the video. So I guess they are, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. Actually, I'm not, because I don't expect that survey to be anywhere, because we all know what that survey was. It was a crock of you-know-what. So, but then we're still waiting on, the deputy mayor was here last week, as everyone knows. Over 5,700 people have watched that interview, so I thank you guys for that. That's amazing. But again, we have another what? I want to say 5,700 people who did that, and there's over 60,000 people in the city. We got a ways to go. So, but he made some comments in there that he was supposed to give me some stats on a couple of issues, and I have not received them yet. So, Mr. Deputy Mayor, if you're out there, I'm still waiting on them. I'm still waiting on those statistics of on the criminal justice system, the police department, on deaths of black youth, or actually black in America, because I mean that's what you were going for, a national poll, you said. So I'm still waiting on those stats, please, because I think you know that they're nonsense, and there are no stats to back up your statements, and therefore I probably will not see them. But I will always cross my fingers and hope that something will come through my email. But I will not sit here and hold my breath, because politicians say politician things just because they know that some people are uninformed, uninformed, or ignorant, and they're just going to take you for what you say. So I'm taking it that was his objective, and we'll see if it succeeds or not. If anyone noticed, there was a paving, in fact, I just put it up there. There was a paving alert. Here it is. Paving alert that was supposed to be this weekend. And it says that there was supposed to be new paving. And I know this is minor, and this is, but in the grand scheme of things, this is our government here in the city of Meriden. And it's quite pathetic. And this kind of like just entails everything. I mean, this just kind of just puts everything into perspective. And if you want to see what government does and then what they say and then what they do, just go down to East Main Street right now, because they made a big deal. It was alerted all over the place. If you go onto the city website, the first thing in the banner up on top is paving alert. Like, oh my God, something awesome's happening. And it was supposed to be this weekend from Broad Street down to State Street, which is the train station. And East Main Street was supposed to be paved. And if you take a trip down there, that road is worse off now than what it was on Friday. It is worse off. It is just amazing to me. So please, I know you city councilors, I know you city department heads, I know the mayor, I know you guys are watching this. So please, by all means, comment in there and explain what the hell happened this weekend down on East Main Street. Because one, the worst part of the entire road wasn't even touched. And the part that you did do is worse off than what it was on Friday. But that is the government hard at work, making sure they're doing their job to make sure you're miserable. Because that's all that did for me and probably everybody else. Because you closed down the road yesterday, and that's what we got for it. It's just amazing. I need some clarification on what the hell happened down there. So you city representatives, please, by all means, jump on and let us know or call in. 203-679-9610. Feel free to call in. I mean, we'd love to hear an explanation on what's going on. But it is, like I said, it is everything that I think of the Meriden city government right there on East Main Street. Just total incompetence, sloppiness. Maybe they rushed it. I don't know what the hell happened. All I know is, like I said, it's worse off today than it was back on Friday before they did nothing. So like I said, please give us an update on that. So what's going on in the world today? And I wanted to get to it last week, but we ran out of time. And that is, again, when we talked about over the last month and a half, we talk about, what the objective is for a lot of people in the federal government. And I always say that the federal government is nothing but control. They want complete control. Well, let me rephrase that. Liberals and progressives want complete control over your life. That's their objective. Whether it's health care, whether it's how you found a job, whether or not they're gonna pay for your kids. It's literally everything. They want to control every part of your life. And the easiest way to do that, again, is controlling, how much money you make, where you make it, your health care. Because if they control your health care, they pretty much control everything else you do, which is why they're so big on single-payer health care system. But all these things they do, it's all about control. And it's about taking advantage of situations, or as they say, never let a crisis go to waste. And I think all the emails that have been coming out, especially with Dr. Fauci, it's kind of just, when everyone called us conspiracy theorists, they called us conspiracy theorists for all this back talk that we were trying to do, and we were trying to tell people, hey, you know what? No, that doesn't work. That doesn't make any sense. And come to find out, we were accurate. We were. So especially when it comes to masks. When it comes to masks, we were absolutely correct. And I think, Rand Paul, I think Rand Paul hit it right on the head. If anyone did not notice, Ms. Linda, I knew you would find it, Linda, has found, is that the accurate one? Is that the Fire to You survey there on the link? So I have not looked at it yet. I see Linda has just found it. So I don't know why they don't have it up on their website where it should be. I mean, it's only till June 30th, and they wanted all these people to make sure that they took the survey. So please click on the link. I'm going to do it later on, and we'll see what questions they have on there. And then if there's anything interesting, we'll talk about it next week. But back to Dr. Fauci here. Well, this is so when we talk about control, I think Daryl has an interesting. Conservatives want to control women's reproductive rights, and that's not accurate. That's not accurate at all. We just want to hold people again, and this doesn't just go for women at all. This goes for people in general. No, conservatives want people to take personal responsibility for the things they do. Right? I mean, is that a bad thing? I don't think so. So again, and I don't get too much into the federal politics, into the social issues, but I mean, I'm more than willing to do so because I'm pretty strong in my convictions on what they are. I look at things through personal responsibility, and every liberal will turn around and say, "Oh, you want to take away women's rights." So, Daryl, if you want to have this conversation, I'm more than willing to, and I love having this conversation because it usually leads in interesting directions. Daryl, by all means, call in 203-679-9610. I'll leave it at that. If you don't believe that personal responsibility trumps everything else, trumps the death of an innocent child, then please, by all means, call in. Because every liberal loves to go that, oh, reproductive rights. You want to control my body. No, well, I just don't want you killing anyone. Right? I think that would be, I think that's a safe assumption that you don't want anyone murdering anyone, I would hope. Especially an innocent person who has done nothing. So, Daryl, it's an interesting comment you made there. And I would love to have this conversation with you. So, by all means, please call in. We could have that discussion. Because I don't think you're going to probably agree with me by the time we're all done. But I'm sure if that's the route you're going, I'm sure you're not going to be happy with the results when we're done with our conversation. But you, by all means, can call in because I love to hear other people's views, even though how crazy they may be. But Dr. Fauci's, Dr. Fauci, let's get back to Dr. Fauci before we were interrupted with that. And Jeff, you could call in on it too, by all means. But in fact, I think we've already had this conversation. Dr. Fauci, this is a man that has been, again, he's been with 7 presidents. Now, is he a smart man? Absolutely. Is he a political man? Absolutely. Now, they try to play him off as a non-political. But at the end of the day, he is. And if you look back at his emails and what they've said, he contradicts everything he's been talking about for the last year and a half. And that's just a fact. What he says in public and what he says in private emails is 2 separate things. 2 totally different things. So he'll tell you to wear 1 mask, 2 masks. But then write an email, yeah, they don't really do anything. No, he hasn't committed suicide yet. If anyone saw my post I put up there a couple days ago, it was that I would just get ahead of it, and I'm thinking he's going to fall to the Hillary Clinton. Everyone who goes against Hillary, the Clintons, ends up dead. But you never know. It's still early. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But, you know, Epstein didn't hang himself either. But, you know, with all these things, again, it's all about control, though. Even though they're saying one thing in private, they're going to tell you something totally different in public. And I think that's an issue. Listen, if you believe in something, just admit to it and say, hey, this is what I believe. It's what I believe. But again, it's all about control. That's what it's always been. Well, first, it's all about Trump. They didn't want to agree with Trump, and he had a lot of pressure from Democrats not to agree with Trump. And at the end of the day, Dr. Fauci is a Democrat. He always has been. So, I mean, that's not a surprise to anybody. So any Republican out there saying, "Oh my God, I didn't know he was a Democrat," that has not been a surprise to anybody. It's not been a surprise. He's donated to Democrats for years, so nobody should be surprised. And I think the only people that don't care, Mr. Cerrone, are the people that agree with him. Because the rest of us care. I care that I got lied to. I don't know about you guys. It bothers me. When a representative lies to me, no, I hold that. And we elect these people to go, well, first of all, he's not elected. He's appointed. But we elect officials to go do a job and to be honest with the people. And politicians don't do that. And not just federal, but even here. Even here. Even in our own city. Politicians will say one thing and do another. You know, I don't know if anyone knows, we have some new appointees coming up. Some people being appointed to certain positions in the city. And there's been hit squads going out trying to character assassinate people in our own city. I have an issue with that, especially when it comes from, you know, within that own party. I have issues with that. I just wish people were honest about their political beliefs and their convictions and just stick to it. I don't know what's hard about that. If you don't agree with something, that's fine and dandy, but just admit to it. Don't start doing things behind people's back. And this is what our government does. And the Fauci emails, the Hillary Clinton emails, are a prime example of what happens. They don't care about the people. They care about their own agendas. What they do and what they say for you to do is two different things. And that's an issue. It should always be an issue. And if people don't see that, well then, like I said, you're the people they're looking for. You know, they hope to just throw these things out there and just hope that the uninformed, the uninformed, and the ignorant are just going to sit there and take it for what it's worth. And they're going to run with it. And then when the informed people turn around and say, wait a minute, no, they're called crazies or deplorables or conspiracy theorists, which is fine. They, like I said, they can call me any name they want. But the facts are the facts. And when you're caught out, just admit to it and move on. But that doesn't happen. They just circle the wagons. If you look at all the major news networks, they're circling the wagons, just trying to make up anything. Making up anything that will stick and say, hey, no, he was talking about something else. When we all know. And like I said, if you go back and look at any of the Rand Paul, Dr. Fauci exchanges, everything doctor, and he's a doctor. Rand Paul's a doctor. He's an eye doctor. But he was right. And it all came out. But again, this hasn't ever been about the virus, I don't think. This is all about control. What can we get away with? What can we get away with? How far can we go before the public fights back? They found out they could shut down our government. They found out they could shut down our economy. They found out that they could keep you at home. And most of America will be okay with that. I don't know why, but most people are. And it's troubling. Because this is America. We don't run and hide in our houses. We've been through a much worse than this. And I got into a Facebook, someone had mentioned something on one of my posts about 600,000 people dying of the coronavirus, which is false. I mean, those numbers are not accurate, and CDC has numerous times gone back and changed those numbers. Related COVID is not dying from COVID. That just means they had something else going on, and they just happen to be COVID positive, which, again, most people are. They probably didn't even know it because, again, it's not going to bother them. So it's so easy to sit there and say, all right, well, you can have a heart attack, but if you have COVID in your system, it's a COVID death. No, it's not. But that's, again, the game that they play. And that's why the numbers are so high. And again, the CDC has multiple times gone and reduced those numbers. So, take it for what it is. If you haven't read all the emails, there's hundreds of them that you could go read on any news site. I suggest you go and do so if you're looking for more information about the Dr. Fauci. It's quite extraordinary, and it's quite troubling because, again, it's what they do. But again, that should be no surprise to anybody because that's the way it's always been. But while I was doing that, I came across a plethora of articles about an upcoming congressional report. And if no one knew, back in 2020, during that $2.3 trillion Trump plan, Trump and the Republicans threw in I wouldn't call it an earmark. Well, I guess it is an earmark. We'll call it an earmark because it is. And it demanded that the Department of Defense mandated that the Pentagon and the spy agencies must file a report about unidentified aerial phenomena or UFOs. There is a report coming out any day now about UFOs and what the government knows about them. Now, are they going to tell us everything? No, because certain parts of it have come out, and I have some of it here. So I went and did some more research on it because I found it fascinating that there was a report coming out, and then when I found out why the report's coming out, because it's being mandated, I was like, okay, well, how much are they really going to tell us? And here's the first comment that came off. American intelligence officials have found no evidence of aerial phenomena witnessed by Navy pilots in recent years are alien spacecraft, but they still cannot explain the unusual movements that have mystified scientists. Okay, now that is a typical Washington answer. American intelligence officials have found no evidence of aerial phenomena witnessed by Navy pilots in recent years are alien spacecraft. They're saying that they exist, these vehicles exist, but they're not alien spacecraft. But in the same sentence, they're saying they cannot explain the unusual movements that have mystified scientists. Okay, so if you don't know what they are, how can you say they're not alien? This is typical government. This is how government talks. And it's so annoying. Because you can't sit there and say that they exist, but yet then they don't exist. But again, are we going to get anything out of this? Probably not. But I am so fascinated by this report coming out that I can't wait to read the entire thing. Because it will keep me up at night. I will sit there and read the entire thing. And I'm just amazed by it. So, again, this has been going on since, forever. But another thing I found out while doing research on this, do you know we are in Connecticut itself is in the top 10? We're in the top 10 states with the most UFO sightings. Anyone know that? I did not. Again, I found it very fascinating. This goes back to a long time a joke with my brother and some of our friends who continuously, and again, over all these years, have still convinced themselves that they saw a UFO while down at the East Haven Beach. And this is decades ago. And they still, every one of them, and I'll give them credit, they all kept the same story. They have not changed it at all. I don't know where Paul is. I wish Paul was here. I did not tell him we were talking about, oh, there he is. There he is. I was still amazed by it. Paul, I still think you guys were high on something, but Paul's over on the YouTube page, so you guys aren't going to see him if you're on Facebook. I see him because I see everybody's chats. But yes, this report, I can't wait to read it and talk back on it. But there are over 90,000 UFO sightings. Can you believe that? 90,000. Oh, I'm coming to play basketball after. So, I don't know how they're going to explain it. I'm very interested to see what they decide that they're going to put out there and what they're not going to put out there. But again, I just don't know how you can sit there and say that they do exist. Well, these objects do exist. And these are objects that they say are going at 11,000 miles an hour and then turning on a dime, which is, to us and everything we know about physics, is damn near impossible. And I think one of them had it on there. So if you were going 11,000 miles, it would take you half of Ohio to turn before you could turn. That's a long way. And these are happening on a dime. So it is fascinating. I'm very interested to see what it says. But I'm not going to hold my breath on it. And Yeah, I appreciate Paul and the crew. Still, dead set on that they saw one, and I am still gonna say that I do not believe we have been visited. Although I will say that I do believe they exist. I do believe there is other life forms, not in this solar system, but in others. In others. There are plenty of solar systems that we have no idea about that have super Earths, which are 100 times the size of the one we have here. So, do I believe there's life on other planets? Yes. I just don't think it's in this solar system, and I'll leave it at that because and the one thing they did admit is that it's not only sightings. These weren't only sightings for the UFOs. They were also picked up on radars and other instruments also. So that's the part I'm waiting for them to explain, because that's the part that really fascinates me. Is that, okay, well, our radar systems and our advanced technology can still pick them up. So I'm very interested to see how that turns out. But, so Paul, keep your head high. And keep your hopes up. We're gonna, like I said, I'm gonna read that, and I'm gonna give you guys a breakdown of it, and maybe I'll throw some stuff together, and we could do a show on the UFOs, and we'll do a show on that report, because I think it's gonna be fascinating. I just don't think at the end of the day they're gonna tell us much. But we have a lot going on in the city here. I know we talked about some federal issues, but we've still got a lot of stuff going on here in the city. And I think we have some amazing things that are going to be happening. I was down today. As I was driving down, I saw the car show over on the green. It was amazing. A lot of people. It was very well attended. You couldn't find any place to park down there. I ended up taking Junior. Junior would never come down to the car show, even though I got him to the races last night. Tucker, who is a huge car fan. We stopped down there after we went and grabbed some lunch, and it was amazing because I love old cars, and Tucker just loves cars in general. I didn't see the duck race. I don't know if that was happening today. I was not able to see that. I saw an alien. Yeah, me too, Mike. Every day. But it was a great time down there. I loved it. I know Tucker loved it. So it's always nice to see people down on the green having a good time. They had some music going. They had all sorts of fun stuff going on down there. So if you didn't get a chance to get down there, I'm sorry you missed it. It was pretty cool. But as some people know, tomorrow we have a new Board of Ed member coming on. Someone who I think is absolutely amazing. As you know, as most know, we had a resignation from one of our members on the Board of Ed, and so there is also going to be a new one appointed tomorrow, which again is pretty awesome that we have again another female, wonderful woman going on to the Board of Ed. So, but again, there's just certain things I don't like about the political process, and I have no patience for. And, it bothers me because it's the reason why some people don't get into politics, and it's troubling to me. If you're not part of the in crowd, you're not part of the establishment, you're not, you don't play ball, they just don't like you, and they will do everything they can to try to take you down. Yeah, that kind of pisses me off. So, because, again, it's one of the reasons why really good individuals who would represent the city extremely well do not get involved in politics. They just don't. They just don't want to deal with the nonsense. And, again, this is another prime example. You have people trying to do hit jobs on good people who will do an amazing job. And if no one knows Siobhan, she is an amazing woman who's going to do great things for the Board of Ed. She's a wonderful mother. She teaches out in at our technical schools. Just a phenomenal lady. And she's a no-nonsense type of girl. And I am so proud to be able to. I'm so proud to be able to promote her and to support her on her endeavors. And I welcome her to the political world. Which again, they love to say that the Board of Ed is not political. It's BS. Everything in this city is political. Everything. So it's sad. It's sad that it has to be that way. But all those people that tell me that it's not political just showed me how political it was over the last week. So, and again, you know me. I'm one of those people. If people are doing hit jobs, I'm going to find out who did it. And that's like my main goal. So for all you politicians out there, all you politicians out there, know that I don't tolerate this kind of stuff. So, my Freedom of Information Act's requests have already been written and already been mailed. Already been emailed, and I'm hoping that I'll get approval on those tomorrow. But we need good members of our city, and I say this all the time. I say this every single day that we meet, is that we need people to stand up. And if politicians and other people think that they're going to do stuff to halter that, no, I'm coming. You're not going to pull this stuff. Not going to pull this stuff. So, I want good people to run our city. I want people that aren't in that good old boy network. There's so many parts of this city that I'm so irritated about because I see the favoritism going back and forth. Whether it's the Board of Ed and the YMCA. Anyone see the 2 weeks free for any child to go to the YMCA? And it's being paid for by the American Recovery Act money. Who decided that the YMCA is the beneficiary of that? What about the Boys and Girls Club in Kuno? I haven't heard a damn thing about it. I haven't heard them getting any money. Why is it the YMCA? Always the YMCA, whether they're giving buildings, they're letting them buy buildings, it's the YMCA. Why? Is it because Big Nignies run both sides? Maybe? Throwing that out there? I would love for Mr. Benigni to come down here and come on the show and explain it to me. Why is the BOE, the Board of Education, so in bed with the YMCA? I want to know. There's a lot of things I want to know about the BOE now. This last week, anyone who knows me knows I don't care. I don't usually care about the Board of Education as far as its inner workings. Craig Hansen, you said they work well together. I think because they're all on the same page. And I think that's wrong. I don't think they're working well together for the right things. Because the more I look into the Board of Ed, and again, this is going to irritate some of my friends that are on the Board of Ed or that are but it is what it is. Everyone knows I straight talk. I'm not going to BS anybody. I'm not going to BS anybody. So, I want to know. I want more transparency coming out of the Board of Ed, because the more I read into the Board of Ed, the more questions I have. And like I said, I try to stay out of the BOE. I care more about the council because they still control the financing of the Board of Ed. But I try to stay away from Board of Ed issues. But over the last week, I have really, 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 my spider senses, my antennas have come up. And they're like, there is something seriously wrong here. There is something seriously wrong here. It looks calm on the surface. I think under the water, it's the ducks. Just the little feet just flapping away at a mile a minute. I think there's, my instincts are usually correct, which is why I'm gonna start digging into the BOE. I am, and I'm sure there's gonna be a show coming up on it. And again, and I'll invite BOE members to come on to the show as always. You know, I think Robbie's a great guy who is the president of the Robbie Kaczynski, who's the president of the Board of Ed. I think he's a great guy. I think he does a tremendous job. I'm just, the more I'm looking into it, the more questions I have, and I am going to turn around and we're going to ask those questions because we need to know. I want to know where the transparency is because there is none. And they call me an anti-education anyway, so I don't care. Because they keep saying the same thing every year. We don't have any money. We don't get any extra money when they get an increase every single year. Just not from the taxpayers of the city. So we're gonna have that because, like I said, my instincts are usually pretty damn accurate. And to me, my instincts right now are saying we have an issue. Over what I've seen over the last week, my instinct is saying we have an issue within the Board of Ed, within the education system, within the whole entire Board of Ed. I think we have an issue. And it is going to be, like I said, my mission over the next couple months to really dig through all the Board of Ed things going on. So there's going to be more to this. And like I said, I have filed some Freedom of Information Act requests that for multiple merit and government agencies requesting some information. I'm very interested to see what's going on here, and I'm hoping that these requests turn up. Well, I hope they turn up nothing. I will say I'll be happy if they turn up nothing. Again, my gut instinct is saying no. Is saying I'm going to find some stuff, especially when you know exactly what to look for. So my requests are very pointed. So we'll tell I'll be able to reach out to you guys and let you guys know over the next couple of weeks on if those materialized and what they said. Because again, I'm pretty irritated by it. So people think they could get away with things. People think they could get away with things, and then, when called out on BS, all of a sudden, everybody's friendly again. So, I don't play those games. That's not my style. If I have an issue, trust me, you're going to know about it. So, to try to play games with me is not a good idea. Not a good idea. Because my patience is about that when it comes to people trying to screw with me, or screw with people that I think are great for the city. And I think Siobhan is gonna be amazing for the Board of Ed. And if you have not met her, please, by all means, tomorrow she's gonna be appointed. A resolution will be before the city council, and she will be. And I'm taking it she's gonna be accepted onto the BOE, and she'll give a brief statement. And I think that the students of Meriden are going to be extremely excited to meet her, and I think the staff and the leadership of the BOE is going to be excited to meet her and talk to her. But, she's an independent woman who has some great thoughts and some great insights on things that she's going to want to see happen. And like I said, I cannot be happier. So I look forward to that. That's tomorrow night. The city council meeting that starts at 6:30 tomorrow. It's going to be, of course, it's a virtual meeting because the city council is absolutely deathly afraid of seeing the public. After all the crap they've been doing over the last couple of months, I'd be afraid to see the public too after all the crap I was trying to put out, right? But they still will not meet in person. I don't know why. Everything is back to normal. Wear your mask if you want to, and go to the meeting and see the public. That's what you're elected to do. You represent the people, but yet you don't want to face the people. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And the fact that it's being allowed by the city manager or anybody else is crazy. Or even the legal department should be like, hey, guys, get back into the freaking into session with real people in the audience. Not this virtual. This virtual crap is ridiculous. I miss looking at them and telling them what I think. I don't like sitting behind a keyboard and telling people what I think. I mean, I do it here, obviously, because I can't see all of you. But when it comes to city council, no, I love looking directly in their eyes. Because that's when you know whether they're full of you know what. You could tell immediately. By their reactions, by their smirks, by the eye roll. You can't, I mean, they can hide it on virtual. They can't hide that in public. And that's what they don't want. That's what they don't want. They don't want the people seeing them. They're going to try to ride this out. But it's worked for them in the past, so why would they change? You know? Like I said, they don't usually have to campaign on anything, so, you know, they have an election coming up. So it worked for them 2 years ago. If they just shut up and say nothing, you could get elected because, they're going to think that people are just, you know, they're hoping that people are just uninformed, uninformed, or ignorant. Same thing I said before. And they're just going to vote a D. Check. That's what I normally do. Vote a D. Check. Because if they open their mouth or they actually paid attention to what these counselors are saying, it's horrifying. And you would never elect these people. Never. Ever. What they're saying should scare the crap out of everybody out here. But I will regress, and we'll get into that stuff again on another day. You know, as we get closer to elections, we're going to have people in. The candidates from both sides are more than welcome to join us. Again, just like with Mayor Cardona, it will be respectful. It will not be. We will not be screaming and yelling at each other because one, I have no tolerance for it, so I don't need to. We could have a discussion based on facts. If you come in here and try to BS someone and blow smoke up my ass, then obviously it's gonna turn for the worse. But while we're talking about guests, we have a very, very special guest coming up. And it's either going to be Wednesday or Thursday. It hasn't been nailed down yet. But we have the police chief of the city of Meriden coming on the show. Now, I am extremely excited about this. One, because I didn't think it was ever going to happen. I didn't think that the city manager would even allow it to happen. Because we'll get into the city manager at another show. But I reached out to the police chief, and he has accepted an invitation to come onto the show. And we have a wide range of topics to discuss. I'm taking it's probably going to go longer than an hour. So, like I said, it's going to be either Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be either Wednesday or Thursday at 7 o'clock, as we always do. So you'll get notifications on it. If you have questions for the chief, please email them. Please email them at straighttalkjv@gmail.com. It is going to be a very informative interview. I have a lot of questions on a wide range of topics dealing with the police department here in the city of Meriden. And we are going to get some answers to those. Now, I'm sure the chief has already been forewarned about how the style of this goes, and I'm hoping that he's watched the show previously, so he knows I'm very fair. I try to be very fair, and I will always be respectful, always. But I do expect answers, and just with any guest here, I expect to have answers. There are no softball questions in Straight Talk with JV. It just doesn't happen. I have very good questions that I want answered because I think that's what you guys want. I think they're questions that if I have, you guys have. And we're going to talk about, again, the police survey. We're going to talk about the use of force committee. We're going to talk about the stats of that. We're going to talk about community policing. We're going to talk about the NIs. We're going to talk about a wide range of topics, but they're all going to be within, the police department purview. So I'm extremely, extremely excited to have Chief Rosado coming on to the show. And again, it just shows you what we are doing here is making a difference. It really does. It just tells me that we are striking the right tone. We're striking the right nerves, and we're asking the right questions. And the best part is the public is asking the questions. If it was just me here spouting what I believe, they would just write it off. Joe, the crazy conservative, is out there trying to rally against liberals. Yes, also don't forget, Thursday morning is Coffee with a Cop over at the downtown coffee shop. Tina has an amazing place there. So that starts at 9 o'clock. If you want to come down and meet some of the police officers, they're having coffee with a cop down on West Main Street. It's across from the police department. It's the downtown coffee shop. And like I said, Tina has an amazing breakfast. I'm there at least 3 times a week, maybe sometimes even more. I absolutely love it. But that is this Thursday, June 10th. So, like I said, our interview will either be Wednesday or Thursday. We haven't solidified that date yet. So I have an email out to the chief. Once I hear back from him on which date, I will let you all know. But it just shows you guys that what we're doing here is making an impact, and we're doing a great job. Because it has now, again, everybody's emailing, calling their officials, and it is starting to produce. And Isabel, that is exactly one of my questions for the police chief. But also, that is where your neighborhood association meetings come in. That are at night. So if you don't know if you have one, go to the Meriden association website on Facebook or whatever, neighborhood association website, and you should be able to find out if you have one in your neighborhood. And if you don't, there's also a thing, I believe, on how to start one. Everyone knows where I stand on the neighborhood associations. I think they're a great thing in theory. I think they are so inefficient and very ineffective in their current state. So again, that's going to be one of the discussions we have with the police chief. So stay tuned for that. But I think we're gonna learn a lot from the police chief. Again, I can't tell you how excited I am to actually sit down with him behind this microphone and actually have a conversation, and we'll see what comes out of it. I'm always optimistic that you guys are going to get your money's worth, because I know you guys pay a lot of money to hear this show, But we'll ask that question, Linda, and we'll see if we get an answer. So, but again, this Wednesday or Thursday, it's going to be at 7 o'clock. We're going to be here live with the police chief of Meriden. And like I said, we try to keep the shows to an hour. I'm going to bet this is going to take more than an hour. I think my questions alone, if he lets me do all of them, would be at least an hour and a half. So, and I'm hoping that he, any amount of his time is appreciated. I hope he gives us some additional time if needed. But I think it's a great opportunity. If you guys don't know the chief, I've done another project with him about a year and a half ago, along with Elaine Cariotti and Wilton and a couple other organizations, and Sean McDonald. So we all worked together on a previous thing, which I thought was pretty awesome down in the green. And he's been very open-minded He is very helpful. He's very engaging, and he does an amazing job. So I think he's a good addition to the city of Meriden. It's been a pleasure watching him work. I love the fact that we have a traffic division back in the city of Meriden, even though I hope they don't see me, because I'll be the first to admit that I do not drive well. But so hopefully I never get caught by the traffic division. I don't like wearing my seatbelt. I'm sorry. But that's another story. But I think it's a great thing. I love seeing the traffic division. I think they're doing an amazing job just from the article I read. So I think we got a lot of stuff going on this week that the city should be excited for. We'll do a recap of it all on Sunday. But I'm hoping so Wednesday, Thursday, like I said, mark your calendars. Hey, Hanson, a traffic division of 1, I'll take it. I'll take it because you know what that proves. Do you know what I have an issue with is that you don't think that every police officer on patrol would love to be doing traffic, right? Do you think about it? If you're a patrol officer, would you rather be going to these calls of shootings and domestics and burglaries, or would you rather be doing quality of life traffic division? I want all of our patrol to be doing them. But unfortunately, the times we're at right now, it just doesn't allow that. So I'll take 1 is better than none. In the future, hopefully we'll have 3 or 4. Right? It's a start. But at least the police chief is trying to make a change, is trying to make a difference. Because quality of life issues like driving infractions are important. They are important. People get hit by cars all the time because people just aren't paying attention, distracted driving. So, you know what? I look at it as a plus. I don't care if it's a division of 1. Hopefully, later on, it's going to be a division of 3, 4, 5, 6. And I hope at some point we could get to a point where they're all doing it. And they're not having to worry about shootings in the city, stabbings in the city. So, I'll take it. And again, coming back to personal responsibility. If you get caught by the traffic division, it's your fault. I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4 seatbelt violations over the years. But I don't blame the cop for it. I blame myself for it. Because, I made that choice. Going back to Daryl's thing. Conservatives want to go after women's rights. No, we don't. We want you to be responsible. We want you to make good personal decisions. Guys, too. Doesn't just go for women. So, but that's a whole different conversation for another day. So, but again, so you guys will see a news feed come up for Wednesday or Thursday once we confirm with the police chief on which day. I will let you guys know, and it will be up there. I'm hoping for, like I said, for a great discussion. I have no doubt it will be one, but we'll see from them. But again, we'll have the police chief of Meriden on Wednesday or Thursday at 7 p.m. So again, any comments or questions you want to give to them, send them to straighttalkjv@gmail.com. We have to do another question and answer one. I've been getting emails all week for the last 2 weeks on certain things. So once everything calms down, we'll do another question and answer on things going on and how I feel about certain things that we don't usually talk about here on the show. Because when we're on the show, we talk about what I want to talk about because hopefully it's something that you guys want to talk about. Some of the off-base things I don't usually entertain, but I will during question and answer weeks. And we'll do that in a couple weeks coming up. So until next time, until Wednesday or Thursday, as always, I love you guys. Keep up the great work. We're doing amazing things. And I think we have great things to come. I think it's going to be a great week. and I'm excited to speak with the police chief. So, as always, God bless you, and God bless this amazing country we have. Let's not lose it. Let's work together to make it better, make our community better. So, have a great night. I love you all, and I will talk to you on Wednesday or Thursday.